All right, so this is my impression of acclaimed vlogger Gabby DiMartino. Step one, you're gonna want to take your feet and you're gonna want to put them in your sink. So I couldn't find it anywhere, but there is a picture of Gabby where she is doing her makeup, sitting on a counter, and has her feet in the sink. I was gonna include it, but I can't find it. Bam. Now you're Gabby DiMartino. Congratulations. Look at this beautiful spread I have prepared for us today. It's going to be a wild night. Oh, it's my shit. I heard that you were talking shit and didn't think that I would hear it. People out here getting everybody fired up. Ooh, it's my shit. Alrighty, so today we're going to be filming a magical CottageCore elf makeup tutorial so that I can be aesthetically pleasing, I suppose. Let's get started. The first thing you're gonna want is one of these clips. Does anybody else do that with these clips and put them? Did anybody do that as a child and put the clips on their lips? That sounds weird. Never mind. Let's not talk about that anymore. So, first thing I'm gonna do is get all my gorgeous, luscious locks out of the way, and I'm gonna put them up. All right, so now I'm going to, so I got a bunch of new makeup for this. So I got Bareminerals Mineral Veil. So that's the first product we're gonna use. So I'm just gonna put some of that into the cap of this and then start kind of putting that all over my face. Let's go. So my thing is just baking without baking. So put on no makeup and then put on powder. And you want to cover up any like Irishness that you see in your heritage. So if you're like, oh, it's kind of, my skin's kind of red here, that's Irishness, and just cover it up. Is that joke appropriate? I'm Irish, I can make it. Alright, so I'm going to cover up all my Irishness. So I feel far less lucky. But I feel like after this makeup tutorial, my chances of getting lucky will be, oh, probably about the same, honestly. What am I doing? I don't know either. Okay, so we're going for CottageCore. Allegedly, the women who live in the cores of the cottages are light. They have light, airy makeup. Pale skin from their time inside pale skin from their time of remaining inside the cottage and not living for extended periods of time. So I suppose we should start on some eye makeup to make our eyes look more spectacular. So I'm going to take my Lorac palette and I'm going to take a shade. I'm going to take the shade Pink Peony. And I'm going to place that in the inner corner of my eyeballs. Then I'm going to take that same shade. I'm going to put it underneath my brow bone. Alright, so now I'm just gonna kind of clean that up and blend everything together so it's just like cohesive and not weird. By the way, my skin's super dry and it's peeling off, so if you look really closely, you can see that. Just wanted to let you know my flaws. There's a lot of them. Alrighty, that's looking pretty decent actually, so on to the next part. Alright, so now I'm going to take an NYX. Oops. So now I'm going to take my NYX micro pencil brow thingy-mabobber and I'm going to try to create some semblance of eyeballs. I'm going to try to create some semblance of eyebrows on my face because, like, until now I don't have any eyebrows. It's one of the joys of being a redhead. If you're a redhead, Comment down below if you're a redhead and you have eyebrows, or if you don't have eyebrows, because statistically speaking, redheads don't have eyebrows. It's a known fact. So I thought I'd give you all an update to my dating life. The latest update is that I told a guy that I've been a vegetarian for the last 6 years and he ghosted me. So that's how my dating life's going. If your dating life's going better, you know, comment down below, let me know. I'm just kidding, actually. Well, that is true. That story is true, but my dating life is going fabulously. It's going great. It's actually going the best it's ever been. So what I started doing is, like, I don't want to be bloody miserable anymore. So I started realizing that it's very likely that I have toxic patterns relationally and how I relate to people. And those stem back, you know, to my childhood. So I was writing it, I was journaling, and I was writing it out. I wrote down, you know, all the people in my life who have hurt me. And then I kind of wrote down, like, what hurt me. And as I did that, I was like, oh my God, like, this is why I am the way I am. So I'm very insecure. I question my own competence at doing things. I question whether or not I'm good enough. And I was writing, and like one of the particular people I was writing about, their thing was telling me that I wasn't good enough, that I didn't know what I was doing. And that's why I ended up this way, you know, that's why I ended up in relationships being like, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough for this person, I don't know what I'm doing. But I am good enough and I do know what I'm doing. Of course, I'm going to try to do even better, but so that was a big realization in my life, essentially. I keep accidentally staying up till 9 a.m. and then sleeping during the day, which cannot be healthy long term, so I gotta stop doing that. I just realized that CottageCore makeup is actually like very similar to like a Disney princess or like Cinderella type thing. I'm gonna brush these little eyebrows out. Alrighty, so my eyebrows are looking relatively what the kids would call on fleek. That was, I forget that people are younger than me now. On to the next step, I suppose. The next step is actually get yourself a Keurig and make yourself a coffee in a Coca-Cola glass and then take a sip. Alrighty, so now I'm going to take this 3 steps to sculpt contour palette. And I'm going to take that darkest shade and I'm going to do some contour, or at least attempt to. It's like relatively questionable. I'm going to do some on the jaw. It's like a subtle contour. It's not like nuts, but it's like good. It's good enough because we don't want a crazy contour because we're like supposed to be like the soft, ethereal, cottage dwelling wench. Soft, ethereal, cottage dwelling wench. Alrighty, now I'm gonna move on to eyeliner. I'm gonna use my NYX liquid vinyl liner. And I'm going to try to do a thin line. Usually, you know, I'm like a Lana Del Rey listening, like 1950s loving lady. And I want to do like those wings, but I'm gonna resist my natural urges to wing. And I'm just going to do like a thin line on each eye. That sounds like a song. A thin line on each eye. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You know I need someone else to look into my eyes and tell me no, 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 no. Ooh, one eye down, one to go. So the more I'm doing this makeup, the more I just feel like I'm looking like a Barbie doll, to be honest with you, which I'm not even mad about. Like, that makes me happier than anything. Like literally, if someone gave me a Barbie now, I would still be happy. Like I'm 21 years old, give me a Barbie for Christmas. Thank you. Oh no, it got slightly thick on this side. Okay. I'm gonna have to like attempt to even it out, but like, we might have slightly like asymmetrical eyeliner today. The good thing about the low quality of the iPhone camera I'm using is you can't see any of my acne. Like I'm looking in the mirror and like you can see all of it, and then I'm looking in the camera, I'm like, ooh, you can't see a lot of it. Alright, these lines are thin enough. That sounds like some sort of drug reference, but I'm referring to my eyeliner. Alrighty. So I want to make this makeup so you can see I'm using like a lot of drugstore products besides the Lorac and the Bareminerals. For like, for things that are like gonna touch your face directly, like, you know, your foundation, you should probably like make sure it's decent. But for other stuff, you can go cheap. Alright, so first I'm gonna try to get some kind of fake liner, and I'm gonna put it underneath my eyes. I'm just gonna use some eyeshadow. I think I want to do a brown, so I'm gonna go in with let's go in with cedar, but only a tad bit of cedar. I'm not gonna lie, some of that did go in my eyeball. It looks good. Alrighty, so I'm gonna put on mascara now. Alright, now what I like to do is I like to take a clean spoolie, so I'm just going to use the spoolie that's on my eyebrow pencil. And I'm just going to brush through these lashes and separate any clumps. Alrighty, I think my eyelashes have been effectively brushed. Alright, now we're going to move on to a little bit more face makeup. So we are a beautiful, young, ethereal woman living in a cottage, which means that we're youthful, which means we have red glowing cheeks. I know it contradicts the first part of this tutorial where I literally put white makeup all over my face in order to not disclose our Irishness, but now we're gonna make our face artificially red in just the right places in order to achieve a look of youth and beauty. Alright, so I'm gonna take my little Smashbox blush and contour palette, and I'm going to take the choice paralysis. I think I'm going to take the pink shade though today, and I'm going to put it in the areas where it needs to be. So now I'm going to take the highlighting shade from the NYX palette we used earlier. And I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to go kind of ham because highlighting is so fun, man. How could you not go ham highlighting? Then I'm going to take that eyeshadow brush from earlier. I'm going to dip it in that again. Gonna go do. And I'm gonna put it also some just above my lip. So I don't have a pink lipstick. The only lipstick I have is very dark. So I think we're gonna make a lipstick. This is a DIY channel now. It is shifted. Regular tutorial, DIY. There's full tutorials, right? So I'm gonna take my Shane Dawson Conspiracy palette. We have some good colors here. But I think I'm going to use a tiny bit of Trish and a tiny bit of pigment. I'm going to mix those two together on my lips. See if we can get something good. Alrighty, that's pretty good, but it's a little bit dark, so I'm gonna blot it. Alright, so for the most part, I feel like we've achieved our CottageCore aesthetic, but I'm gonna do a final touch, and that final touch is gonna be freckles. So I'm just gonna take that eyebrow pencil I used earlier, the Micro NYX eyebrow pencil. You see it's, the tip of it is like this, so it's kind of perfect for freckles. So we're gonna do some freckles. The way that made my face really red, you see? Alright, so I think the makeup is literally done. Hopefully my face gets less red. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out what we're doing with our hair. It's pretty CottageCore already. This is my neck. This is like if I wash my hair, get out of the shower, and don't brush it at all, it's super curly like this. But I want to make it a little fancier. I feel like CottageCore girls, they often have like a lot of braids and whatnot. Alright, so I think I kind of decided on a loose ponytail thing. Alright, so now I'm going to take a comb. I'm just going to comb this part relatively flat. And then I'm going to take the two short sections in the front. I'm just going to take a brush. I'm going to try to integrate my curls and make them like kind of one piece of hair. We'll see how it works. Alrighty, so I think that's the hair. It's kind of like a high ponytail and then like a couple of little curly pieces in the front. And now I'm going to go and scrounge my closet and try to find the most CottageCore-esque dress I can, and then we'll do a grand reveal. Alrighty, so this is the grand reveal. I found something in my closet that was relatively CottageCore-esque. It's gorgeous, isn't it? And I put on some little like 1950s style heels. And the makeup is beautiful. The hair is beautiful. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed making it. And please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so the algorithm picks up my YouTube channel.